Hello, friends, and welcome to the things teachers really say, where your coffee is room temperature and your pants have just ripped at the beginning of your day. Yes, that has happened. So I just thought,
Yes, I
yes, which is why I said it because I have had that happen. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about the biggest red flags of them all. We're going to be talking about toxic administration and the red flags that it might come. And I don't know why she wanted to talk about this when I was an admin. So this might be a bitch session about me. I don't know yet. Is that
no.
what this is? Are you
Mm.
calling me out?
No, but we did share a toxic admin, so we could talk about our separate and our shared admin. I just want to say we are not bashing anybody. We are just naming the toxicity. We will not be naming names, however,
No.
but if you happen to relate with what we're saying and you think it's about you, maybe
Oh, and share. And if you want to hear
exactly.
bitching, that's a different.
So, would you like to start with our shared admin stories?
The one who was obsessed with me.
Yes.
So y'all said I was too just in my own little bubble.
Yeah, yeah.
That one is definitely a interesting time because the level of toxicity that I experienced with this said person was different than what you experienced with said person.
Yeah. Thank God.
It was very different. The level of, I mean, I don't even know where to start. I don't know, to say how he joked about the rumors of us hooking up in the office. That was
Fun.
or how he withheld my son's stuff when I pulled my son out of that facility.
And hid it from me so I couldn't
And
get it for you. Or how about him not immediately looking at the tapes when a kid got his hand broken by a teacher and waiting until the very end of the day so she got to finish her day and get paid for the full day?
yep, or how he never wanted to give anyone raises. I think we could go on and on and on, but I know that nobody wants to just sit and listen to the reason.
I will want to say, though, there was a time where everybody but me got a 50-cent raise.
Well, don't worry, I never got a raise. So,
I think it's because I called him out on his bullshit. But anyway,
hmm. Guys, welcome to today's show.
I do want to touch on my last school a bit, though, before
Mhm.
we get into the nitty gritty, because so the last place I was at was a daycare through preschool, and it was very different than the place you and I worked at. We had
Oh, really?
real lesson plans, and they had to be up by a certain time or you were getting in trouble, and all that fun stuff. But I think the best part is we're a family. Gaslight,
Are
gatekeep, girl boss.
are we really family?
Every staff meeting, we had to hear about how we're a family and we all need to help each other. So
That's the biggest lie.
if you're on the playground and you see Miss Honey's child misbehaving and punching her in the face and you're not her co-teacher, you should still intervene. Apparently, unless you're in my classroom. We had a couple of elopers, me and my lead teacher, and it was on us to run after them. And these children would run past other teachers and they wouldn't budge. But then you best believe next staff meeting, we're all family.
Yeah, it's some bullshit.
Where was that we are family when I needed to take time off for a funeral and I got told, "Do you really have to?"
God. People don't realize how toxic schools can really be, especially with the, well, we're in this together. Are we?
Come sit
Are
in my room. Come be in my classroom for a day. A full day. Don't just drop by. Come in at the beginning until the very last child leaves.
okay,
And tell me how together we're doing this.
and it might have been a toxic moment for me, and I will, talking about toxic admin, might have been a toxic moment for me where I was teaching a martial art class and I had this like little like 6-year-old, 7-year-old, like really like talking back to me and saying that like I'm teaching it wrong and how and everything. So I said, okay, you do it. And I walked away.
Yeah.
And this little kid just looked at me. You do it. At least the parents found that funny. So I kind of got away with that. Was that healthy? No. But I'm not gonna spew though, we are family.
No.
It's not that skit where, I don't know if you've seen that Kevin Hart skit, talking about, "My bullshit is your bullshit."
Yeah.
No, it's nothing like that.
So you know how never in a school that I went to, but at least in the movies, there was, you could be principal for the day for the kids.
Mhm,
I feel like teachers need that, but if I'm principal for the day, that means you're in my classroom for that day.
mhm.
And then you can really see.
But
Because
it ain't like that.
admin is quick to catch you on your bad moments.
Yes, they are.
They don't realize that when you started to get frustrated was because everything was building up. You had an eloper. You had two kids full on toddler fight club. You had a group of kids not listen. You had another eloper that ran after the first eloper. You just got to the point where you're frustrated. You're not yelling, but your tone is not the best. And they would be like, you need to fix your tone. Do I? That's going to help.
It's when you have experience with those non-toxic admin. So I worked in a certain religious school, and we would have visiting brothers. I think that's the correct terminology.
Yeah, like deacons
Visit.
or whatever.
Yeah. And the one, I mean, was good looking. These brothers are coming to basically an all female staff. And the one was like good looking, like, he was playing with the kids and everything. And swear the non toxic admin. And she's like, look, I understand he's good looking. Girls, he's not going to do anything. Y'all just need to stop ruling over him.
He's married to Jesus.
He's married to Jesus. Like, and, with toxic admin, especially since I've worked closely, directly under, never physically under. I'm going to state that now with all the rumors that went around. Never physically under. No,
Never ever.
no. Like, I don't even know how that rumor started, but
Because he got so giddy when he would look at you.
I didn't even notice.
Girl,
Like,
I should have recorded some of your interactions because I could tell you were clueless.
yeah.
But he was like a little girl with his first crush.
Yeah, that's toxic admin right there.
Yeah. I will say that the day that the child got their hand broken is a day I will never forget. And they had it on tape,
Camera?
on camera.
Yep.
Could have easily just pulled it up. He kept saying he couldn't do it because the computers were out front and she kept coming out front. However, he had a computer, laptop,
Yep,
that was
that had
also connected to
that.
these cameras.
Yes, they
So
were.
he could have taken it into the office to look at it. But no, he did
No,
not. Now we all
it
knew this woman's story was fishy, to say the least. Eh, My favorite part, they didn't call the parents until much later. So this child has a hand that's 2 to 3 times larger than it should be. Nobody's calling the parents. Nobody's looking at the tapes. When the director wanted to look at the tapes, this head admin is like, no, we can't do it because she keeps coming up here. And the director's like, I don't think that much matters. But they waited the whole day, and then he called her when she was home. And that meeting he had in the office because he didn't want anybody to hear. The running theory is that he didn't fire her. She just quit.
Oh, yeah, no, I can already, because when he would have those fishy conversations, he would turn up that fan all the way
Mm-hmm.
loud so that nobody could listen in.
Yep. Or the noise machine.
Yep. But then also, I don't know if you know this, when, last week when we talked about what happened with my son getting slammed down, and the other director, when she came in, she was like, "Well, did you notify any of the parents yet?" And the one director, who was my friend, she was like, "Well, do we need to?" And that director goes, "Well, no. I mean, whose kid is it?" And I was like, "That's my kid." For the fact, yeah. So I would have never known about.
No, and it's something that place is known for.
Yes, it is.
N- Not telling parents things because the parents never knew what happened to the woman that broke the child's hand. No idea. There was a child that was left in a classroom. The classroom was next to mine.
Yep.
I went and found the child because I heard them crying, and I brought them up front and I said, "Hey, this child was left in the
Recognize
classroom.
this child.
And admin was like, take her to her classroom and let her know. So I took her to the other classroom and I said, hey, you forgot somebody. And they were freaking out. And the director took some time to call the parents because the head admin wouldn't let her and told her she doesn't talk anyway. How would her parents find out?
It blows my mind on how they honestly think that they can manipulate their way out of situations. It is a small, small world that
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people honestly realize. Like after I pulled my son out of that facility, I found a different facility out of some
Mm-hmm.
woman's house. Turns out years and years and years ago, she used to work for that same place. So that toxicity and everything was spanning not just like 5 years, but we're like pushing like 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think once you are so enthralled in that toxicity, you ain't going to pull yourself out of it.
No.
And whether that be toxic admin or toxic coworkers, we've had that. I don't know how many times, like, where all y'all were coming in complaining to me about different shit. Like, I'm
From
going to listen.
the same two ladies,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that mother-daughter duo.
I remember there was one time, I mean, not gonna lie, I loved listening to the tea on why y'all would get mad at each other. Like, that might have been my toxic trait was I loved listening to the tea. Why are
You
y'all
weren't
mad?
telling other people, though.
No, I wasn't. I was not. It was like my own personal tea cabinet. I just didn't know what flavor I wanted that day. Like how I think it was in one of your rooms.
Probably.
You got mad because the code teacher would not change a diaper and kept trying to pay you.
Oh my gosh. Ah!
Kept trying to pay you to change diapers.
Yeah.
Like,
Literally, all of a sudden I
oh,
get a Venmo and the note says for so-and-so's diaper because she refused to change certain kids' diapers. And I was like, what is this?
yep.
A little bribe. Yeah, but if we want to get on the topic of toxic coworkers while we're on toxicity, why not? Hey, the lead teacher. So I was put in this room under the assumption that I would be a double agent. This is what admin told me. The big guy told me I'd be a double agent. And I was like, ooh, tell me more. And
We
he's like,
live for tea.
you're going to be so nice to this woman and she's going to get comfortable around you and she's going to slip up. And you need to tell us every time she slips up because those cameras were only visual. There was no sound. It could look like a normal interaction, but the words coming out of her mouth were hot garbage most of the time.
Oh, I've heard.
So I would take my little butt up to admin and I'd be like, listen, so on a Friday, I'd have my notes out full of all of the things she said. But it wasn't just me. It was me and the other co-teacher. Because I had started as an extra teacher in there. So I had somebody to back up what was being said. Now, the admin would take out his little laptop and type down everything I said and had a whole file on this lady, but nothing ever got done. But then I got to the point that I just could not take being nice to this woman anymore. And the turning point was when the director at the time texted me that somebody just called her and accused me of something so vile that you just can't forgive somebody for. And I said, I will never work with that woman again. I will not be in the same room as her. I'll keep it civil. And then she started pushing me and pushing me. Why aren't you with me anymore? I love having you in my classroom, acting like nothing happened. So I told her that I knew what she said. The amount of times she called while we were still at work, I had 15 missed calls from her at work. Yeah, 15. And I don't even know how many text messages I had from her. While we're at work, she is calling me and calling me and calling me. Mind you, this is a very small facility.
Why are you so obsessed with you?
Exactly. She could have walked over to me and talked to me. I'm not getting on the phone conversation.
Y'all shared like y'all had a shared door.
Yeah, we had a shared door. And then eventually she pulled me in there and, she tricked me. I was going to put the broom away and she came out of nowhere to get her broom. And she's like, we need to talk. And I said, I have nothing to say to you. And I believe that's the last time I spoke to her.
Yeah, I don't remember the last thing I said to her, but I think it was something along the lines of "Stop talking shit about me," but
Listen, I will say that it is a good thing we were working with children because I had so many other things I wanted to say. I could have said, I should have said, but for the sake of the children. Now, at the time that I was there, this place was 4 classrooms. That was it.
Yep.
4 open classrooms. Teeny tiny place. If you had something happen to you at 8 o'clock, the whole building knew about it by 8:15.
Yes,
Because I'm not trying to be a stereotype, but women be talking.
they do.
We be
The
yapping.
amount of times I would get called into classrooms, "Did you hear this?" And I'm like, "None of my business."
My favorite was, did you hear this? And it was about you.
Yeah.
But
What am
no,
I doing now?
and
Did you hear that Erin and this other guy or the who we're not gonna name, they were hooking up in the office and they have the
during work hours?
director during work hours and they have the director stand guard?
Yeah.
What?
But the toxicity can get real.
Yes, it can.
And listen, I'm not saying don't gossip. If that's how you and your friends connect, do it up.
Gossip smartly though.
Don't do it at school or at work.
Go meet up for drinks.
Yes, get off the property. Just because you're talking in the lounge, they don't care. Somebody will write you up. I
No,
know.
see, I will say, like, again, when you don't have a toxic admin, I think there was one day, like, me and some of the other TAs, we were sitting there talking, and we were talking about nipple piercings during our lunch break because one of them wanted to get it, and we were, like, deep diving into
As
nipple
one does.
piercing. Yeah, apparently on a lunch break, and the admin was like, "So what are we talking about?" And we're like, "Nipple piercings," and she was like, "Oh, well, here's why I wouldn't get one because of blah, 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 blah," and then she adds in that her husband would want her to get one, and we're like, "You're our boss? Like, should we be having this conversation?" But she provided those areas of, like, safety and again, I think that's where I learned, especially stepping into the role at the daycares was, I'm gonna be in here. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna shoot
Yeah.
shit with y'all, but I also know when to reel it in.
Yeah. See, speaking of toxic admin, so at the last place I was at, on my lunch break, we had a float with us. And for people who don't know, a float is a spare teacher. They come in
They
there.
float around.
Yes, they're classroom to classroom. It doesn't matter. So my lunch was a half hour before the float's lunch. The float came in. And so she had a full half hour with my class without me. So she comes in to fill me in. And we're talking. And we're like, listen, some of these kids, man, and you just know these parents, we were just venting to each other on our lunch break in the lounge.
Mhm.
Somebody tattled on me, said that it was just me. I just randomly started saying all of this. And instead of coming to me, admin goes to my lead teacher to tell on me. My lead teacher comes with, we're all adults. You should talk to her. And also, if the lounge is in a safe space, where is a safe space for us? Because my school was very big on safe spaces. Every classroom had it. All the kids had somewhere to have their safe space. She's like,
Yeah,
why don't teachers get that privilege?
that valid.
And she's like, well, if she wants to vent about parents, she has to do it off the school ground. Why? The parents couldn't hear me. But, this is a safe space and we're family until you need our help.
Exactly. Trying to learn those healthy boundaries
Mm-hmm.
with everything and voicing what you really want. If you realize that the toxic admin is not going to do anything about it, leave. You don't know how fast admin will replace you. Only reason
Oh,
why I
so
know
fast.
this is because I was admin and
Mm-hmm.
I was told at one point by my toxic boss, trust me, I would have quit way before if I wasn't in the position of me needing the job. But she straight up told me, and I quote, "I don't care if they have any experience with the child. They just have to know what a child is and just hire them."
And that's who got hired.
I did not take that approach because I went to the next one, the next admin, and I was like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. Like, if they have 0 experience, then no, I am not going to hire them.
No,
Like, that's bullshit.
I agree.
But no, he had his own mommy issue.
Yeah, well, that's a different podcast. How many times do you think we say that's a different podcast per podcast? I will say that is a big reason I left my last place. I realized admin was not on my side. The gossip about me was getting out of control. There was a parent that decided they didn't like me anymore and wanted me gone. So I said, I'm
But,
going to leave on my own terms.
but the thing is, though, don't you just love hearing what you do sometimes?
Yeah.
It's great. I'm like, what did I do? Really?
But I was not one of those people that admin just believed no matter what I said. The person that reported me was just believed, and my side meant nothing. So that's when you got to go.
Yep. Nope. That's why, like, if there was any issues between like a teacher and a co-teacher, I want to hear both of y'all's side. Like, I'm gonna treat y'all like toddlers. Okay, you talk first and then you, because I want to figure out, because there's always 3 sides to every story. Side A, side B, and the truth. Because we all have different perspectives and we all have different realities of what actually happened. But with toxic admin constantly having their friggin' Napoleon complexes and there's I'm superior, blah, blah, blah bullshit, they forget that if it wasn't for little minions of the teachers, they wouldn't have anything. But then when you have the kiss asses who like really kiss up to the toxic admin, then it's like a whole other issue. Like, don't kiss my ass, just do your job.
Yeah.
So, but if y'all are listening, we would love to hear your toxic admin stories.
Yes. Yes. You can leave a voicemail on our new podcast page. Yes, it's very fancy. That is podpage.com/things teachers really say.
Can we get it to sound like Steve from Blue's Clues that we've got mail?
We could definitely try. I will look into it.
Yes, that is going to be
But
something.
remember, next time admin tells you we're like family, ask them if they mean the Addams family.
No, understand that the we are family is not true. And as fast as they will get rid of you, the faster they're going to hire somebody else.
Exactly. Take care of
And
you.
take care of you at the end of it. Like, because at the end of the day, the end of our life, the only one that you are going to be looking back at is yourself. And you do not want to be mentally drained because of the red flags.
A job that doesn't care about you.
You summed it up. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Erin and I will see you next week. Thank you all for listening. And don't forget to check out our website, www.podpage.com/things teachers really say.